Pope Leo spoke out this week on the controversial decision by Cardinal Blaise Cupich of Chicago to honor Dick Durbin, the Illinois senator with a Lifetime Achievement Award, this despite his decades-long public support of abortion on demand. 10 bishops spoke against the honor. Durbin has since decided to decline it. But Pope Leo's comments, have they brought clarity or confusion to the situation? Here with analysis, I'm joined by Editor-in-Chief of The Catholic Thing, Robert Royal, and Jesuit theologian and host of the Catholic Current podcast, Father Robert McTeigue. Thank you for being here. On Tuesday, as you all know, Pope Leo was asked by EWTN News in Rome about this controversy. He started this way.
I'm not terribly familiar with the particular case. I think that it's very important to look at the overall work that a senator has done during, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years of service in the United States Senate. I understand the difficulty and the tensions, but I think, as I myself have spoken in the past, it's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the Church.
Bob, what is Leo saying here? I mean, isn't this similar to Cardinal Cupich's original defense of this award, that there are many issues to consider, not just one, abortion?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that this was kind of a political ducking and dodging. He's from Chicago, he's from Illinois. It's primarily a Democratic state, and he knows it's been a hot button issue, a hot potato out there for years and years. Unfortunately, he's not following the teaching of the Church on this. He's following rather what has become kind of a settled understanding among certain people in the Church about democratic politics. The only coherent view of this, in my estimation, came in 2004, when then Cardinal Ratzinger sent a message to the bishops of the United States, which, as we know, Cardinal McTeigue tried to distort, saying that not all issues are on the same moral plane. And obviously, there's a difference between someone who supports the direct killing of innocent human life in the womb and someone who is allegedly good on immigration. I don't even allow that characterization because we haven't had immigration reform in the last 20, 25 years. So what good Dick Durbin has done in immigration, I don't know, other than to kind of weigh in on the Democratic side and the side of the people in the Church who think that enforcing the law is somehow inhuman or unchristian.
Father, I want your reaction to this portion of Leo's comments. Here he is talking about the meaning of the term pro-life.
Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life.
Father McTeigue, does support for the death penalty or enforcement of immigration law cancel one's pro-life status?
Raymond, if I were granted three wishes from a genie, the first would be that the Pope never gives an off-the-cuff remarks to the press again. And the second would be that we don't expect the Pope to have everything to say about every issue in a 24-hour news cycle. And if we got those granted, I wouldn't want a third wish. I would be happy. The short answer, though, is no. Abortion is an intrinsic evil. There is no way to spin it, negotiate it, talk about it, listen about it. It is always and everywhere wrong. It's part of revelation, it's part of natural law that capital punishment is licit, but the application is prudential. And to equate a prudential question, which may not be ignored or denied, and then make that on the same level as an intrinsic evil is a category error. I wish that would stop.
Bob, the Pope claims that there is a complexity of these life issues. Watch.
They're very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them, but I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find the way forward as church. The church teaching on each one of those issues is very clear.
Bob, are these issues all that complex? I thought the church always taught that the killing of innocent life was wrong, and that capital punishment, for instance, for those who take innocent human life is permitted.
Yeah, look, if you listen carefully, what he's trying to do is just calm the waters a bit here, as I said earlier. And um, if you're going to be sensitive on all these different issues, fine. It's not necessarily complex. As Father says, it's a category error to make these things seem to be all on the same moral plane. Now, what Cardinal Cupich in Chicago has argued is that neither the Democrats nor the Republicans are able to be wholly faithful to the church because of political polarization in the United States. If that's true, what I would argue is then you shouldn't give anybody an award. If you're going to say that even some of those secondary issues are so urgent that if, say, a Republican supports Donald Trump on immigration, he's somehow not pro-life, then okay, don't give a Republican an award, but certainly don't give a Democrat an award who's advocating or at least allowing people to kill innocent human life. There are complexities, but there are also very clear principles at play here, and we should get the hierarchy of the truths and the hierarchy of importance clear in our minds.
Cardinal Cupich issued a statement in response to Senator Durbin declining the honor due to this controversy. I want to get your reaction. He says, Senator Durbin today informed me that he has decided not to receive an award at the Keep Hope Alive celebration. I want to make clear that the decision to present him an award was specifically in recognition of his singular contribution to immigration reform and his unwavering support of immigrants, which is so needed in our day. We are not a one-issue church. Father, are we not a one-issue church? And what about the trafficking of human beings and the sexual abuse related to unregulated immigration? I mean, I've been there. I've watched this happen on the Rio Grande.
Look, Raymond, we are a one-issue church, and the one issue is the truth, and that is not negotiable, and it's not really difficult to figure out. Human life is good. Humans are made in the image and likeness of God, deserve to be treated with charity and respect, and we're only as safe as the most vulnerable member of our society. And one of the reasons I think we're having this conversation is because it is socially tolerable to countenance the murder of the unborn, not only in the West, but even among Catholic circles, among Catholics who should really know better. Imagine, Raymond, if Senator Durbin were on the side of the angels on every moral issues, but also espoused clericalism, praying only in Latin, and endorsed racist attitudes that Margaret Sanger would proudly endorse. He wouldn't be getting that reward, would he? So I find the Cardinal's objections to be disingenuous.
Bob, the Cardinal suggests a remedy at the end of his letter to avoid future controversies. He says, I believe it would be worthwhile to schedule some synodal meetings for members of the faithful to experience listening to each other with respect on these issues, all the while remaining open to maturing more fully in their common identity as Catholics. Bob, synodal gatherings where members of the faithful listen to each other while remaining open to maturing more fully. So listen and get with the program. What do you think that means?
Well, I think what's likely to happen if such meetings are to be organized is what we see in our politics as a whole, because people are shouting at one another over these kinds of issues. This is not simply something that can be talked past. It has to be thought through. That's the only possible resolution to this. For too long, people in the church, for obvious reasons, for obvious political reasons, have been willing to countenance people in the Democratic Party who are Catholic, who are willing to go along with their party over their church on the issue of abortion. So fine, if they want to go with their party and not with the church, then the church should not turn around and then reward them or award them some sort of recognition for what they've been doing. Look around the world, the first cause of death around the world, not just in the United States, around the world is abortion. It's 60 or 70 million abortions take place a year. That kind of slaughter, if it were taking place in any country in the world, even in a war zone, we would be horrified that this is happening. If you really believe that killing an innocent human baby in the womb is murder, then how can you possibly be reaching out, being open, being synodal about that question?
Yeah, well, Bob, I think this is why, and Father, I'll give you very quickly the last word. I think this is why the faithful watching this are so distressed, because you raise the primary issue. You have a politician who has been denied communion in his own diocese for years because of his public stance supporting a gravely evil act that the Church vehemently opposes and has always taught is objectively evil, and yet we're now wanting to present him with an award. Father, there's the disconnect, because it shows you either don't really believe that, you don't really think the Eucharist is in need of protecting that much, or that all these issues are kind of, that, yeah, it's in the old books, but we don't need to talk about that to disturb the unity that we have here. Father McTeigue, final comment.
Raymond, very, very simply, here's my concern. These exhortations to listening are, again, disingenuous, distracting, and dangerous. What can a pro-abortion advocate say that hasn't already been refuted decades ago by the pro-life movement? I have absolutely no interest in hearing any excuse, however earnestly proposed, that will allow for the murder of children in the womb. And the idea that it's something that honorable people may sit down and talk about and discover some third way of appreciating abortion, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to be complicit in that sin.
Robert Royal, Father Robert McTeigue, thank you for being here.